Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's SLC Connect call. Thank you very much to everyone for joining us. You've probably met me before in some capacity, but in case you haven't, just to introduce myself, my name's Matt, and I work for SLC representation. So just to give you some guidelines for this week's call, just in case you haven't attended one before, just to manage your expectations, the call will run for probably about 30 to 40 minutes. During that time, we will have everyone's microphones muted just to keep out as much background noise as possible. If you have any questions that you think of during the call, please just drop them into the Q&A box, which you should see either at the top or the bottom of your screen, and I will then ask those questions for you at the end of the call. We will have time at the end for questions, so don't worry about that. But like I say, if you think of those questions as we're going along, then please just type them in there and I'll be sure to check them off at the end. If you have colleagues or people you work with who are currently not in the business or who aren't able to be online today, I will send you out links for this video. We will have it posted to Facebook and YouTube and to our own SLC representation page. YouTube and Facebook will be by the end of today. Our website probably will be a bit longer, but I will send you out direct links for those for the videos by the end of the day, and I will also include on there the promo code as well to download your travel book. So without any more ado, I am going to introduce you to Nang from the team at TMG. Nang, are you able to join us live from Vietnam? I think you're on mute. There we go. So over to you now, Nang, if you would like to share your PowerPoint and then we can start.
Yeah, thank you very much, Matt, for the introduction, and good morning, everyone over there in the UK. It's 5 p.m. in the afternoon in Vietnam already, so looking a little bit, starting to look a little bit dark from my webcam over here. I'm actually working from home this afternoon, but normally I would be full-time at work at our office. It's very good to be here today. And thanks, Matt, from SLC to give me an opportunity to reintroduce the TMG and all of our hotels, resorts, and cruises to the UK and the European market. So I will start sharing my screen now. Yes, and 1 second, sorry. Right. Matt, just double checking if you see my screen.
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay. Okay, great. So I'll just stop my webcam for now, as it might be distracted. Okay. So just a quick introduction for myself. My name is Ngan. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing for TMG Group Hospitality. I was there last November, so it's almost a year ago at WTM, and I might have met you some of you in person during our sales calls, or if you happen to pass by and say hello at our TMG Group booth around the Vietnam pavilion. So hello to you again if you recognize my face. It's as many of you have known, it's the situation of global travel has come to a very difficult time, and with with the help of companies like SLC, we are still able to connect virtually to our top accounts, our agents, our tour operators overseas, because otherwise we don't know when we are able to see each other again, right? So just to quickly go over the agenda today. So many of you might be very curious about how is Vietnam right now, how we've been coping with COVID, and just the overview of the travel industry in Vietnam. So I'll give you a very brief overview about that, and then we'll come to the main part of how TMG Group, so abbreviation TMG, how we have been coping with COVID this year, and sort of like an update about hotels and resorts. Many of that would be like just to remind you that, you know, here are hotels, here are resorts, they're all open, and we are all ready to welcome you back anytime soon. And a brief update of some of the achievement that we still be able to have during this this difficult time. And then we'll have a quick Q&A session, as Matt mentioned at the end. So let's start. Okay. So you've might been known that in Vietnam we've had overall during this year we have 2 waves of COVID. One happened around March, so the same time right after the China and the South Korea happened, and that has hit us very, very badly. So around end of March, the international travelers have been stopped. So I think around 12th of March, that was when we stopped receiving international travelers into our country. And then since then, our country is totally stopped receiving, stop the international borders. So it's down by 66% year on year, and we are down a lot in terms of revenue as well. Some of the statistics on the screen, just about the major cities like Hanoi, Da Nang, Quảng Nam, Quảng Ninh, that's where Ha Long Bay is, and Cần Thơ, that's where the Mekong Delta is, has all been dropping. In August this year, that was when Vietnam had a second wave, and this time it was quite it was more severe than the first time, but with our preventive measures and very strong actions from the government, we were able to contain it after just 1 month. So just like back in April, we were able to contain it within 1 month. So right now, as of today, we have 28 days of no new cases within the community in Vietnam. We still have some active cases that are being recovered. So that is why we started to, from the 18th of September this month, we started to open the borders to the diplomats, experts, managers, investors, people coming to Vietnam with a legitimate reasons, like for diplomats and other things, and from 6 Asian countries. Then for those travelers, if they're allowed to enter, they would need to have negative test from their home country, and then would still require quarantine for 14 days in Vietnam. And we have, you might have seen like stories about our quarantine camps and so on, but for the expats, for the international travelers coming to Vietnam, we have hotels that are certified to let those experts stay there. With meals and hotel rooms totally dedicated. Actually, within TMG Group, we have 2 hotels that are already certified to become a quarantine hotel. One is M Hotel in Hội An, and the other one is Victoria Cần Thơ in Cần Thơ, Mekong Delta. So within Vietnam, without the international travelers, how are we doing? So back in June this year, then there was a survey did, and the Vietnamese people, of course, we are reluctant to travel overseas, but we're very confident to travel within Vietnam. The confidence level is actually coming from how good the Vietnamese government have been able to, so all the actions that we've been taking protecting our citizens towards the COVID. So people feel very confident in traveling just within the country. We saw a huge surge over the summer for the domestic travelers within Vietnam. Actually, like within July and August, right before the second wave of Vietnam, we had a very good month for the domestic travelers. And people like to go to like resorts with the beach or more with nature, not too much packed with like city hotels and stuff. People also tend to travel closer to home, so they can go with their own car and prefer that over the public transport, like you would need to go by airplanes and stuff. And also people tend to spend actually higher this year and longer this year, because normally there's a huge portion of people, Vietnamese people, would go overseas, like to Europe, to Thailand, Singapore, and so on. But actually now they would spend that budget to travel just within Vietnam. So they spend more in like longer holiday and at 5-star resorts, like the Six Senses Resort or Intercontinental JW Marriott. So those are like the super hot names for the Vietnamese market right now. Okay, so at TMG, I just would like to just remind you a little bit of background of TMG. So TMG, we are one of the largest travel group in Vietnam. For the hospitality side, we have a portfolio of seven hotels and resorts for 4-star under the brand name of Victoria. So I know that many of you are very familiar with the Victoria chain. We have 5 hotels under the 3-star range, which is AIM Hotel. We have 4 AIM hotels at major cities. We also have Flower Garden Hotel in Hanoi, and we have the Mai Châu Lodge, the very small boutique lodge in Mai Châu. And this year we also been able to open our first 5-star resort, which is a joint venture with TUI Group in the Europe. So we opened the TUI Blue Nam Hội An in Quảng Nam, which is a central Vietnam, and the resort is it's actually open. We also have a huge range of cruises in Hạ Long Bay, so like the Emerald, the Lazare, and in Mekong Delta, we have a lot of cruises. The Sampan, the smaller wooden cruise around the Cần Thơ area, and we have the Victoria Mekong, the cruise ship, which was launched last year during WTM, and many of you have known about this cruise. So at TMG, when we see this COVID happen, we immediately, the first thing that we had, we released back in April to ensure about our properties and hotels, which are the TMG Stay Safe. So this Stay Safe program, these initiatives are a checklist of things that we would have to do to make sure that safety is the first thing for all of our guests, our colleagues, suppliers, and the community around us. So I mean, the list is like super long, and I wouldn't bother with you about that. So if you're interested in, just let me know, and I will send the detailed checklist for you. But basically, it's all of our hotels that disinfected, deep cleaned before opening. So we reopened it everything after the first COVID wave, which is May. So before that, we disinfected everything, and we maintain that cleaning procedures on a daily basis for all the common facilities and in the guest rooms when people check out. We maintain social distancing, and all of our staff have to wear masks when serving the guests. Okay, so again, if you're interested in knowing the full detail of this TMG Stay Safe, please let me know. Okay, so I would just want to go over a quick update of our hotels and resorts, and then the cruises. So just to sort of remind you where our properties are. So we got the Victoria So basically, you can see that it's we have our properties just ranging from north to south, and it makes a perfect tour, a classic highlight Vietnam tour, right here. Everywhere we have hotels, we have resorts, we have cruises for our customers, and we also have Hyo Aviation, which is the seaplane service in Hạ Long, and was operated in Hue and Da Nang as well. But currently, we stopped that. We only focus in Hạ Long. And just to remind you that we also have one property outside Vietnam, which is Victoria Siêng Thông in Luang Prabang. So I'll just quickly go through our brand. So the Victoria Hotels, which is our 4-star, we have in Sapa, Hội An. So that's our Sapa one, up in the. It's located right in the center of Sapa, but actually a little bit hidden. So you would still feel that Indochine charm when staying in Sapa. We got 77 rooms and suites. And the Hội An one is this is one of our hottest, the best-selling resort right here. The Hội An Beach Resort, 109 rooms with different design. Then we got the Victoria Phan Thiet. It's also a beach resort. So we have 2 beach resorts in within our portfolio. Got 57 bungalows. So Victoria Phan Thiet during this time is actually our best-selling property for within all of our TMG portfolio, because it's right next to the beach, and it's also just the bungalow. So people feel the social distancing right here. Bungalow is like totally separated from each other. Then we got the Victoria Cần Thơ Resort in the Mekong Delta. It's right in the middle of the city, but you still have that resort feeling because it's located right next to the river. And now we come down further to the south, which is the Châu Đốc and the Núi Sam. Those 2 properties are located within the same area, but have a different style. So the Châu Đốc one is right by the river and has a speedboat that connects to Cambodia. So you can have you can take the speedboat to Phnom Penh, while the Victoria Núi Sam Lodge is bungalow style. So that's also our best-selling property as well. So Victoria Phan Thiet and Victoria Núi Sam are our 2 best-selling properties right now for the domestic market because of its unique location. So you see, like all the Núi Sam one have super unique location. So each of these is actually a bungalow. So you would stay here and you have the whole balcony, oversee the whole mountain, the whole rice field area of Châu Đốc, An Giang. Okay, then there's this Siêng Thông Palace in Luang Prabang. As I mentioned, the one and only property outside of Vietnam. Okay, then we have the mid-range hotels, which is our 3-star international standard, and these are like totally different from the Victoria style, which is more like resort Indochine. The M one is very how do you say, very contemporary and very good size of rooms, and very clean, very young, dynamic style sort of. So this one is AIM Saigon, right in the center of Saigon. We got one in Hội An, also right in the center, and one in Hue as well. And we have the one in Flower Garden in Hanoi. This one we plan to turn it also into an AIM brand, probably by end of this year. And we got the Mai Châu Lodge, which is only 16 boutique room in the center of Mai Châu. Located very right next to a pond field. All right. So yeah, all of our hotels and resorts are open, and as opposed to many hotels in Vietnam that they are sort of forced to close because they lose totally the international travelers, especially the ones in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. We are still very we're in a survival mode, and we are trying to find ways to serve the Vietnamese domestic market. And it might mean that we don't we don't just sell room anymore. We've been looking for ways to sell basically anything that can generate revenue, cash, right? At this time, that's what we all need, and we're able to find many independent outlets within our resorts, within our hotels, that can have serve a demand from the domestic market. For example, like a pool monthly subscription for the kids, Sunday brunch for locals and expats. So we've done Sunday brunch in Victor Hội An, and very successful. We had just one last week, and it welcomed more than 100 locals and expats back to the brunch. We got cafes, bar, bakeries. So all of these can serve as an independent outlet. We got restaurants with revised menu for locals. For the restaurants in major cities like the one in Hanoi and the one in Ho Chi Minh City, we actually been serving lunch menus on delivery. So for like office people during lunchtime, that they want to have like lunch boxes kind of thing, and of course meetings, events, and also even weddings. I'm just want to show you. This is it was a wedding in Cần Thơ just 1 month ago, and this whole area was set up over our pool. So I don't know if you remember how Victor Cần Thơ looked like, but actually we were able to set up a huge wedding, a very expensive wedding for the people in Mekong Delta. So this is just to show you the way that TMG has been doing our best to make a new strategy for our market, to the domestic market in the survival mode this year, and waiting for the international travelers, our traditional travelers, traditional customers to come back. So those are for the hotels, and this is just some updates for the cruise part. So again, all of our cruises are back to operation as well, just like the hotels. But with the cruise, it's a little bit different, because hotels, you have it's there, but the cruise, you would need to gather guests in order to operate, right? Otherwise, it just stay there as and nothing happens. So the cruises have been more like a weekend business for us. We've been chartered for events, team buildings, company trips. So these are just some photos of our cruises. Though this one in Ha Long Bay, this the famous Emerald 35 cabin. This has been very popular for charter events during the summer. And we got the Victor Cruises, which is the Sampan one. This is also quite selling well for like the expat market that are wanting a more private getaway, because we have like just 1 or 2 cabins kind of cruise. And the Victor Mekong, this fabulous ship, 35 cabins along the Mekong. It was so the Victor Mekong, the idea was that we would operate for 5 days, 4 nights, going from Cần Thơ all the way to Phnom Penh for our international travelers. And since the COVID happened and the border between Vietnam and Cambodia is totally closed, we have to decide that we would be cruising within Vietnam as well, and cater our cruise, make new products, new routes. To serve the upper class Vietnamese market, because this is quite an expensive product for the local market. So we've been able to reverse that. So we've been operating within Vietnam from Cần Thơ to Châu Đốc and back. Since then, we have 2 fully booked departures in June and July. And this month it's back in operation, and in October we actually have 4 departures. So basically every weekend we have 1 departure of 3 days, 2 nights, and 3 of that is actually for charters, like theme cruise. So the one I'm showing you here is a wellness cruise. So the people that coming there, they come there as for wellness retreat, yoga and meditation, with experts in that field, actually presenting in the cruise. Yeah. Okay. Just some photos showing you how just the imagery of the cruise that we also have to adapt to the domestic market. Okay, so some of the achievement that we've still been able to receive this year, all of our hotels, resorts, and cruises received the 2020 Travelers' Choice Award from TripAdvisor. We keep remain our very high standard for customer service, and of course a safe operation, which is super important and already demonstrated in the TMG Stay Safe. Majority of hotels, we have applied and received the Trust You Cleanliness badge. And for our Trust You score, which is an average score that gather from all the review sites, including TripAdvisor, Google, Facebook, and so on, we remain to be at 91 on average. And some of our properties are actually doing better than the competitors. Like Victor Fantet, I think the Trust You score for last 30 days was 95. So this is just to demonstrate that for whatever reason, we still, although we've been cutting costs and cutting staff and so on, but we still need to manage our customer service at an international standard, still at international standard, and at safety standards, so we can be able to welcome our international travelers coming back. So yes, with this stage, we look forward to welcoming the international travelers back to Vietnam. To be honest, I can't wait for that day to happen. I don't know when it will happen, but it's first we thought it would be next summer, but it might be longer, it might be shorter. There might be countries that are coming back earlier than others. So yeah, we hope to see everyone really soon. And Vietnam has been so great. I'm super proud. I'm super proud to be in Vietnam right now, and super proud what our country have been doing, coping with COVID this year. Yeah, so that's it for my presentation, and here comes the Q&A session.
Thanks, Nan. So thanks very much for the presentation, and super interesting to hear about everything that TMG have been doing. Now is the opportunity for any of you to ask any questions. So if you have a question, then please pop it in to the Q&A box and I can ask Nan for you. I do have a couple of questions that have already come in, Nan. So the first one is, with the Victoria Mekong cruise, is the plan long term that you will go back to the also serving Cambodia as well, or will you amend the itinerary as you go along?
Yeah, I think thanks, Matt, for the question. We will be super flexible in terms of the itinerary, and I think that when the international borders come back, when the border between Cambodia come back, and that allow us to cruise all the way to Phnom Penh, we will have both Vietnamese cruise within Vietnam that more serving for the domestic market, and more like the charter group, and we will also have the international cruise as well. So I think those can be happening at the same time, because the cruise for the domestic market in Vietnam, that will always likely to happen during the weekend, like from Friday to Sunday. But the cruise for the international market, it actually doesn't really matter that it falls into weekend or not, because you guys are on holiday, right? So we might probably will operate that like from Monday to Wednesday, Thursday, something. So we will have like an alternate route for serving both demand.
Yeah, and will both products be open to both markets, or you wouldn't keep that just for domestic market? You would open it up to everyone?
Yeah, sure. But the one for the domestic market, probably we will only open for charter request,
Yeah,
rather than open it as an FIT
yeah,
departure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great, thanks. Another question that has come in is when you were talking about the sort of the things you've had to do to pivot in for the domestic market and things like the the pool use and things like that. Have you had any thoughts about offering those kinds of packages for the international market, or do you think you will go back to predominantly stay and use those packages only for this period now?
I think it's we're at a mode of like we're flexible with everything, and I think anything can sort of work together in the future when our international travelers come back. Of course, we might be not able to serve some of the special requests, if that might be affect to our traditional market. For example, like let's say a wedding in Victoria Cantor, for example, we are able to serve like 600 guests right now, but when our traditional market come back, that might not be suitable anymore because of the noise and so on. So for that we might be very mindful when we accept what requests from the domestic market. But I think these two markets can totally exist next to each other, and we don't have to sacrifice any business, because what we've been our strategy for the domestic market, we hope that this is going to be our sort of like our new market as well, together with the international market, because before we were only sort of like almost 90% focused on the international market, and more like we don't really have a strong strategy for the domestic market. But now that we realize that we are able to serve both, and that's really good, right?
That's really interesting, isn't it? That out of all this, that
Yeah.
there are new strands of business do come and new opportunities do come. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Another question I've got for you is, if people want to dine in room, is it possible for that to be accommodated as well?
Sorry, your question was
Is that if people were staying at the Victoria and stuff, like can it be organized for them to dine in their room?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Fine.
totally.
That's a very quick answer to that one. Also, another question that someone's asked is, do you have any set tours of Vietnam?
Yes, we do have. We don't have the like fixed departures kind of tour, but our tours are customized. And actually, I'm in charge of the hospitality business line, but we have another business line which is travel, and this one is focused on making like tours and around Vietnam, so connecting all of our properties together. Yeah. So
Great.
with TMG we have, yeah.
Great. And for the person who asked that question, if you want to discuss it a bit further, just drop me a line and I can sort of explain to you a little bit more, and I can also connect you with Nan if we need to. Another question, Nan, that's come in that we talked about a little bit yesterday, but somebody has asked is, will the wellness cruises be a regular feature?
Yeah, I think wellness cruise is it's going to be the next thing. I think people are so people care a lot about health nowadays, and it's in Vietnam. It's a very, very new trend, but I know that it's like in Bali or Thailand, you have locations that are only like, you have hotels or resorts that are only dedicated for wellness detox, that kind of theme. So yeah, definitely that's gonna be a next thing. In terms of operation, we might only have it as like a sort of like an event kind of thing. I'm not sure if we would turn one of our resorts into only like a wellness place, because we actually would still want to be at service for our traditional travelers, but definitely we would have like yoga, like, so on Victor Mekong we always have yoga session. That's a regular thing. We have a teacher train, a yoga teacher train on cruise with us, and he would be giving yoga lessons on a daily basis. Yeah.
Okay, great. And then following on from that, it's sort of on the same topic. Somebody has asked, do you have any plans yet for 2021 in terms of anything new coming up, or new product to launch, or is it still a bit early for that at the moment?
Actually, we do have totally new projects that we're sort of like in a brainstorm mode right now, because anything new would need, investment.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that we're looking at some lands and some areas that have more like a strategic location, that we would be opening. We would be opening like new villas or new resorts as well. We do have one huge land right next to the Tui Blue Nam Hoi An, in Quảng Nam, in the central Vietnam, that we are looking at options that to build new villas. So that probably would happen in next 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then another question is, for the Victoria hotels, are the rates set all the way through to 2022 yet?
The rates for so currently for the rates for the you're asking for from tour operator point of view, or DMC?
Yeah.
Currently we have decided to extend our rate to end of 2021.
Okay, so they are, and have they been extended to the end of 2021, or you're just in the process of doing that at the moment?
It's been extended. It's been extended. Okay. Yeah,
Fine.
and for some of the selected partners that they request for a longer rate, like until 2022, then we would be providing rates depending on the demand.
Yeah. Okay, fine. And then we have another question that has come in around, and this might be one for us to sort of take offline a bit. Now they're asking about what have you got any idea on the costs for a wellness cruise, just roughly?
Yeah.
Or,
so the
sorry.
one sorry. So the one that I can tell you right away, the one that we're running by end of next month, the wellness cruise, it's actually operated by a wellness agent, and we as a cruise we give them the location to do it. So we operate that, but they are a wellness agent, and they are selling it to the domestic market around $1,200 per cabin.
And how long is that for?
3 days, 2 nights, all inclusive.
Okay.
All inclusive, yeah. So
okay.
around around $605 to $600 per person, all inclusive.
Yeah. Okay, great, thanks. Last opportunity for anybody to ask any remaining questions. Just whilst we wait a minute, if anyone wants to ask any questions, if you think of something after the call and you want some more information, you want to be connected with the TMG team directly, you want image libraries, you want to check about the rates, then you can drop me an email. You might have my email address, but if you don't, it is matt@SLC, so Sierra Lima Charlie, representation.com. and I can either get the answer for you, or I can provide the materials, or I can put you directly in touch with Nan. And like I say, we will get the videos uploaded as well within the next 24 hours. So you'll also have access to those, and I will send them out to you. So you'll have my email address then anyway, if you don't, so you can contact me if you need anything. And if there is anything, you know, like things like this where people have been asking about the wellness cruise, or they've been asking about rates and things, anything like that that you think later on, then please again just get in touch with us, and you know, we're more than happy to discuss plans for the future for when the borders reopen and we can physically get back into Vietnam as well. So I don't think we've got any more questions, so that leaves me just to say thank you so much to Nan for joining us from Vietnam today, and I'll hand over to you, Nan, just to say a few last words.
Yeah, sure. So thanks a lot, Matt, for arranging this opportunity. So I think I've said enough, right? And I just being, you know, I just want to be super optimistic here, and I mean, things are happening quite different in different areas of the world, but over here we're doing really well, and I hope that in other parts of the world things will get much better, and we really look forward to that day that our two countries or our two regions decide that we will open our borders again for the regular travelers, and from that day, I think we're in a so much better, more happier world, right? People can be able to travel again. That's the thing, yeah.
But you've had your second wave, and we're just hitting ours. So we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see you on the other side of the second wave, and that'll be the end of it. But thank you to everybody for taking the time out today. And like I say, if you do have any more questions, or you want to know more, or because obviously now has also there's so much product TMG, if you want to know more about the Victorias or the M's or the Cruise or any of TMG's products, then please let us know, and we can either organize a one-to-one call for you, we can send some materials out to you, we've probably got some videos relating to that particular product, anything at all that you're interested in, please do let us know. And that leaves me just to say thank you very much, and I hope everyone has a great day. So thank you everyone, and speak to you very soon. Bye now.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Goodbye everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.